Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we are discussing a model made from 2012 until its discontinuation in 2018. This is the Bethune DB27 Titan Hawk V1, the first version of the watch. It is a very different watch from the V2. We're going to go over some of the differences. In terms of appearance and fit, though, they're very similar. In grade 5 titanium, this watch is 43 millimeters in diameter, 12.5 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip at full extension, the spring-loaded floating lugs are 50.5 millimeters across the wrist, compressed 47.5. If you see diverging measurements of Bethune floating lugs elsewhere, keep in mind there are several sizes of floating lugs. The watch has a lug spacing of 26 millimeters between the lugs, so if you want to accessorize, that is the strap width. This watch features a Bethune OEM factory strap with large rectangular symmetrical scale alligator leather on the top, one of the most expensive cuts of the animal. Semi-gloss finish. You can see we have a sheer cut edge lacquered for refinement, a monotone stitch, and then small round scale alligator is used on the bottom to create a strap that costs hundreds of dollars more than if this were calf, but also a strap that lasts years longer than if this were calf. We have a Bethune titanium pin buckle to match the watch, and as you can see, a Bethune lug design and case design often echo in the design of the pin buckle. They don't have one stock design that they use across all models. Externally, if you want to find the primary difference between this and the Titan Hawk V2, a big difference is that the V1 is a lot thicker. So if you look at the Titan Hawk V2, which is, again, the one on top, Titan Hawk V2 on top is 10.9 millimeters thick. Titan Hawk V1 on the bottom is 12.5. You can also see that the JPS model up atop has the characteristic V2 microlight engraving in the case band, which is a type of reductive engine-turned guilloche that is executed on dials, movements, and cases when Bethune feels that the watch is too modern to receive a rosette-style or breguet guilloche. Now you can see microlight is used on the dial right here. Bethune makes its own cases, its dials, and its movements, so this is a full manufacture product right down to the hands. The case features the floating lug design. This is patented, spring-loaded. The crown is screw down, primarily to prevent it from contact with the lug, although it also helps to give this watch a very firm 30-meter water resistance rating, more so than just a snap-down, push-down crown or snap case back. You can see that the watch features sort of a monoblock case design, as the bezel and the case are all one piece. Everything loads through the back. Dial and movement, it is a back loader. The dial features a toroidal track outboard that's raised and cambered. We have sectors and numerals radially arrayed and blueprinted to add a little bit of warmth and color contrast with the silver white of the dial inboard. Another big difference between a DB27 V1 and V2. V2 has a running seconds hand. V1 has that deltoid-shaped pointer-style date, which does include a quickset. You can also see from model to model differences in the handset. Taking a look, there is microlight on this dial, and it is a guilloche that's cut with a lathe. It's not a stamped type of graving. This is a true reductive style. It's just there are times when rosette or clou de Paris are just a little bit too antiquated for a very forward-looking watch, and that's the case here. So taking a look at the reverse side, we don't see a whole lot of the movement, but you'll be heartened to know that the movement in the DB27 V1 is a more deluxe caliber than what followed. So what we've got here is an automatic with twin self-adjusting barrels and 6 days of power reserve. The V2, also automatic, but 60 hours. So this is 6 days, 144 hours. You can see that we have the 2010 patent balance in this watch. That's the one with the full silicon disc and then a rim of white gold. And it's very difficult to see that the movement's even running because there are no catch points to lock the eye onto that completely symmetrical balance wheel, but you can see the hairspring is breathing, so you know it's running at 4 hertz, which is its oscillation rate. Another difference between this and the V2 is that you can see the triple parachute shock protection, which is patented and is one of the signature innovations of Bethune. It's present here. We have Inca block on the balance staff pivot, And then we have an unusual application of triple parachute that's only used on these Titan Hawks. You could see that there are coil spring shock absorbers on the edge of the balance bridge because there's less room inside this case than on the back of a standard manual wind DB28 or DB25. So this is a unique iteration of triple parachute specifically for this compact case and automatic application. The movement is beautifully decorated, and you can see little bits of the decoration through the case back, though it's not entirely visible. No corners have been cut. The idea behind this balance wheel is that it is resistant to thermal drift, so hot and cold won't change its timing. Because the mass is completely slick in the rim, it reduces the effect of aerodynamic drag on timing precision, and it also optimizes the percentage of total mass that's in the rim. You can also see the hairspring is an unusual curve. The outer curve is shaped by hand. The hairspring is actually cut into two pieces. The outer curve is shaped by hand, and then the two pieces of the hairspring are clamped back together. The result is a hairspring that's flat, which means thinner and more shock resistant, but it breathes concentrically because it's weighted evenly all the way around like an overcoil. It's the best of both worlds. That is a patented hairspring curve, and though you can't see it, there is a silicone escape wheel to reduce the rotating mass and also improve timekeeping, reduce maintenance requirements, and extend power reserve. So there is a lot to love in this movement. The movement is 30 millimeters in diameter, so though you can't see it, it does properly fill this case. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.